It's so easy to talk, right? We're surrounded by words, promises, and really good intentions. But today, let's cut through all that noise and get to a simple, powerful truth. In the end, what we do, well, that speaks so much louder than anything we could ever say.
Think about this one. We hear it all the time. It's one of the most common ways we show we care, and it's so well-intentioned. It's our go-to way of saying, hey, I'm thinking of you, I'm on your side. And you know what? There's real comfort in that.
And then there's this. These might be the most powerful words in any language, right? They're the foundation for our deepest relationships, the very bedrock of our lives. Okay, so those phrases, they're amazing, they're beautiful, they're essential. But what if they're not the end of the story? What if they're really just the beginning? We're going to dive into that and ask a much tougher question about what comes next. And that is the question, isn't it? What actually happens after we've said the words? It's a challenge that completely flips the script. It suggests our words aren't the finish line. They're the starting gun for something so much more real. So how do we actually bridge that gap? The one between our good intentions and our actual impact. Well, the ideas we're looking at here give us a really powerful principle that connects what we say to what we do. Wow. That's about as direct as it gets, right? It's not saying words are bad, not at all, but it draws this really clear line in the sand. Words without action are, well, they're incomplete. It's basically saying, show me, don't just tell me.
And this really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is love just a cool slogan we wear, maybe a hashtag we use? Or is it the actual engine that powers our daily choices? Is it just something we talk about? Or is it who we fundamentally are?
So what does this kind of love, this action-based love, actually look like when it's done perfectly? Well, the source material gives us one ultimate example, a life that was the perfect picture of action over words. Think about it. He didn't just talk about compassion. He got his hands dirty. He went right into the mess of human suffering. He touched people no one else would touch. He fed thousands of hungry people, and he knelt down to wash his friends' feet. His whole life was love in motion. Seriously, if love had a resume, this source suggests the cross would be the top line, bolded and underlined. And here's the part that's just incredible. The number one way people would know who his followers were, it wasn't supposed to be a political cardi or a special piece of clothing or some secret handshake. Nope. It was supposed to be a love so real, so active, that people could actually see it. That's what it all boils down to. A tangible, observable love. Not just some fuzzy feeling we keep inside, but a reality that other people can experience and point to. A love that doesn't even need to announce itself because its effects are just obvious. Okay, so this isn't just some big floaty idea, right? This gets really personal, really fast. It's a challenge, almost like a practical test to see if what we say we believe is actually alive and kicking in our own lives. The book of James in the Bible just lays it out so perfectly. It paints this picture. Imagine you see someone who literally has no coat and nothing to eat. And you say to them, hey, go in peace. Hope you stay warm and get some food. The words are nice, for sure, but they don't provide a coat and they don't provide a meal. There's this huge canyon between the good sentiment and the actual help. And that scenario leads to one of the most blunt statements you'll find. The conclusion is unavoidable. The text says that our actions are basically the vital signs of our faith. They're the heartbeat, they're the proof of life. And without them, our beliefs, no matter how beautifully we talk about them, are just lifeless. All right, so what do we do with all this? Where do we go from here? Well, this is where the rubber meets the road. This last part is all about how our actions can become our most powerful message, starting like right now. Every single simple act of kindness, holding a door, really listening to someone, offering to help when you don't have to, that becomes a powerful statement. That's your testimony. It's you living out what you believe without saying a single word. And it's the same thing with your generosity, right? I'm talking about your time, your energy, your money, all that stuff. How you decide to use them, well, it preaches a sermon that screams way louder than words ever could about what you really truly value. There's this quote that just wraps this whole thing up perfectly. It's so true. Years from now, people probably won't remember the exact words you said, but they will never forget the impact of what you did, how you made them feel seen and valued and genuinely cared for. So, that leaves us with one last question, and it's not for someday, It's for right now. As you move through the rest of your day, what story will your actions tell? What message is your life going to speak to the world?